Okay, let's go ahead and open up the doors to Daily with Doc. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome. I love the fact that we have people that are able to watch us on their favorite platform with the live stream, and even check us later when it's most convenient for them. And you can just watch us over and over and share, folks. The information that we provide here on Daily with Doc is empowering information that you may not hear from other places. This is information that is taking the science of that goes into different individual nutrients, and it's proven time and time again. You can even go to pubmed.gov and look up specific nutrients and see what benefits they have within the body. So folks, we weren't just thrown together. We were put together as a divine design. And when we're looking at that divine design, it's not just what goes in our mouth, it's also what is around us and what goes on our skin. And today we have with us again Michelle Wallach, COO of Youngevity International, who has been in the skincare and makeup line for 17 years, folks. So it's not like she just thought, oh, well, I want to make a makeup line and then, make it happen. She has a whole team that has put together a whole line of skincare and makeup that then gives us the options of having a less toxic environment, especially on our largest organ, our skin. So before we get to the actual interview with Michelle, I just want to remind everybody that this program is a resource for an amazing community. That community being people that have found the benefits in the teachings of Dr. Joel Wallach. They put them together or put them to use within their own bodies, their own families, their own communities. And we're providing this information in this show to help support them and their communities with information that gives an insight into what more we can do to help our bodies have optimal health. So the products are not meant to treat, diagnose, cure any diseases, folks. When you give the body what it needs, raw ingredients that can actually be absorbed, the body can do some amazing things. And we just share a couple options that have those nutrients and minerals in them that you may want to consider to add to your life as well. So, Michelle, thank you so much for coming on with us once again. I got so many so much positive feedback through emails and text messages. Even my mom reached out. She says, oh, she's just so adorable. I loved your interview and I learned so much about the different skincare, and how come I don't have that? So there we go. Got an upsell. But like I said, you have been in the makeup industry for 17 years.
That is very true. And I told you before we started this interview, it's super easy for me to remember because I was 9 months pregnant when I launched it. So my mineral makeup is the same age as my youngest child, 17.
That's awesome. And I love the fact that you have built this and kept your family and incorporated them into everything that you do. I know we see pictures and, we've watched the kids grow up through the pictures. And I think that's absolutely fabulous and speaks volumes to the fact that, one, yes, you are the COO of Youngevity. You are a mom. You are a mentor. You are very active in the business and supporting us as a community.
Oh,
so
thank you.
My hat's off to you. I know I greatly appreciate you coming on and spending time with us, as many people do. So last week we talked a little more about skincare. So we're working on the outside in, inside out. Of course, Dr. Wallach has taught us about the things that we need to put inside of our body that then supports the body. But let's talk more about what we put on our skin.
Okay.
including color.
Great. And I mean, one of the great things about putting color on your skin is that it really gives you an even skin tone. So I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of background about color for a half a second, because color, and this is no offense against anyone, this is like all of our research. Colors are created for Caucasian women or lighter skinned women who had uneven skin tones. So for a lot of women of color, they have beautiful, beautiful skin tones that don't need any additional browns or beiges put on, or even yellows and pinks put onto their skin tones. The only reason to put color on your skin is to even out your palette on your face before you add additional colors like blushes and eyeshadows and lipsticks and so on. So it really is for imperfections. And I feel bad for women who, when we take their makeup off and we're doing makeovers, they have beautiful skin to begin with. So ladies, please look at yourself in the mirror. If you've got beautiful skin, it does not need to be covered up in any way with base makeup. But with that said, base makeup was created. Tons of marketing went into it in the 60s and the 70s. And we came along and 17 years ago, and we sat down to discuss at a round table what were all the frustrations that we had with buying base makeup, with trying to color match ourselves. And there's two things that we came up with. One, if you go into a store, any store, it doesn't matter, we'll pick on Sephora, go into any store and get your makeup done, you have to go outside and recheck your face in a mirror before you purchase inside the store. Most of the women around my round table said that they had all purchased makeup at one time or another. Nordstrom's, you name the store, that we've all had makeovers done at it. They walked outside and they looked hideous. But in the store lights, under the store setting, you look like you color matched. You look like everything was perfect. And then you got outside and there was a gigantic line across your neck. So the best thing that I can do in telling everybody is you've got to start with really good lighting when you are going to consider matching your skin. The second issue that we had is, what do you do if you don't have somebody that can color match you? And I want you guys to remember that 17 years ago, and I wore this before I started my own line, so I have no problem talking about them. Bare Essentials was huge. It was absolutely huge. I was a big Bare Essentials. I think they're called Bare Minerals now, but back then they were called Bare Essentials. Bare Minerals was a major line, but believe it or not, everybody, it was a TV infomercial. Like the only way I could buy mineral makeup from Bare Essentials was to buy it online. Can you imagine trying to color match yourself from a TV commercial? And they offered you no support. So that was a huge frustration for us, is what are we going to do with all of these women that might want to try our mineral makeup, but they're going to try it from the catalog, or they're going to try it from our website, or they're going to try it some other way, but they're going to have it shipped to them. What are we going to do when they choose the wrong color? There's always the color we wish we were, and then there's reality. And for a lot of women in our organization, they buy too dark. They want to be darker. I mean, I get it as a Caucasian woman. Like, you want to try to have a little bit of tan or a little bit of color to your skin. I think, Rebecca, you and I both like totally accentuate our lightness, right? Like, you and I are both good with, I also think that light is definitely equally beautiful. And I think
One thing I want to mention, and something that you had mentioned, is the lighting. Definitely. Because I've had makeups and then I go outside and take a picture and I'm like, yeah, give me something to wash this off. It looks so bad.
Absolutely. Two people I've given gifts to this year. My sister and my mother have back-to-back birthdays, so they're just last week. And I gave them both the gift of light. I got them the Superhuman, that's the brand, Superhuman makeup mirror. And I love this mirror. I've had it for a number of years. If you guys ever get a chance to check it out, the light ring around the mirror is unbelievable for color matching. It is one of the most superior lighted mirrors I have ever found on the market. And Superhuman's known for their garbage cans. So if that name sounds familiar, there's Superhuman garbage cans all over the place. but they made a woman's makeup mirror. Nordstrom sells it, Amazon sells it, and you're not going to find any better true lighting when you're doing your makeup. And both my mother and my sister, they've each had it for about a week and a half. And they're every day I get a text. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I had no idea how good my makeup could look once I started applying it with the right light. So
Okay,
great.
so I know what I'm getting myself. I know what I'm getting myself for Christmas.
Superhuman makeup mirror. They're at different levels. It is not a super cheap mirror, but I promise you it will last for years. And it's not one you turn on or turn off. It's motion censored. So you get up, you walk away from it, it automatically turns off and it automatically turns on. And I have had one that lasted over 10 years. I did get a new one about 2 years ago, and I expect it to last just as long. And I should tell you, my last one didn't wear out. I just knew that they had better new ones on the market after 10 years. So it was kind of me that wanted it would still be working to this day. So have a good lighting. But the one thing that we decided to do at Youngevity to make it super easy for you to color match is we created mineral makeup towers. And it is a tower of 8 colors. It comes in light with a little bit of medium at the end of it. So light to medium. Then we have a medium tower, and then we have a dark tower. And with those 8 colors, you've got about a week's supply of makeup in each tower. And I'm going to show you the size of an individual tower. So yes, Rebecca has it too. So it holds about, it holds 8 grams. Yeah, right? I know, I need my glasses. I think it holds, okay, I can't read that, but hopefully Rebecca can.
Yeah, I think it's 8 grams.
It's 8 grams. So that's a lot, everyone. I mean, that really, really is a lot of makeup. For an eyeshadow, 8 grams will last you more than a year. For base makeup, it's going to last you, just depending on how much you put on your brush, a good week. So we send you this tower. It's $10. We ship it to you, and you get all the time in the world to play with those colors and see if there's one color that matches your skin and can blend it all out. Maybe it takes 2, like a little bit of this one and a little bit of that one. I was just telling Ruth Ellen earlier before we started this call, you can actually blend your own color. This was another thing that was super important to us at the roundtable, and which was a huge frustration of Bare Essentials. At the time, 17 years ago, Bare Essentials would sell you 2 base colors, a finishing powder, and a bronzer. Generally, it was a bronzer back then. And we wanted to offer something similar because people were so familiar with Bare Essentials, but we were willing to take it one step further. If we did not have your exact color and you could blend something that matched your skin better, we would customize that, put that into your profile, blend it for you at Youngevity, and ship it to you. And that would be your custom color going forth. That has not changed even 17 years later. We will still, if you call us today and say, and I was telling Ruth Ellen, it's easiest to use like teaspoons when you're talking to our team. If you start with 1 teaspoon of a base color, let's just say it's beautiful, and then you add a 1/4 of a teaspoon of one of the other colors, lighter or darker, or maybe even add a 3rd color, and you blend it up. And it could be even, it doesn't have to be a 1/4 of a teaspoon. It could be equal, 1 and 1, or 1 and 1/2, whatever the portions may be. We do need it to be in like percentages, like 25%, 50%, 75%, just helps with the measuring of it. We will make that color happen for you, and we'll keep it forever. And if enough people start ordering that color, like if we see different women calling in asking for that blend, we then actually create it and put it permanently into our line. And that's how many of our colors have been created. Yes.
And I use it like 50-50, enticing and alluring.
Yes. Yes. Alluring with somebody's custom color. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one has more of a pink undertone. The other one has more of a yellow undertone. But when I put the 2 of them together, I'm not too pink, I'm not too yellow. It works. And everything you were talking about. I'm sorry?
We're talking, yeah, I have to remember, yeah, you've got that pink undertone, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too pink, and then I'm like, I look like I'm sunburnt. but you were talking about, the line,
Right.
and I I just don't get that whenever I put these two together. Um, and something else, because I started with the bare minerals also. I
Did
tried.
you?
I
Oh, did
tried.
you?
I tried. It made my eyes water.
Oh no. I I
And
I
that's
and
something
I
that
don't
I
why.
love about Youngevities is I've not had that problem.
No. So
That's
we didn't talk about it. No one's asked me here, but I've gotten the question many thousands of times. Why did I even start the mineral makeup line? I mean, I get that question all the time. I was wearing Bare Essentials. I had no problems with it. I loved that line. And I told everybody about Bare Essentials. But my girlfriend in Iowa, who I grew up with, she would call me and tell me that Bare Essentials caused her skin to break out. I mean, in a rash, like it got super, super red from a rash. And I just became fascinated with why was that happening to her if Bare Essentials was supposed to be the super clean line with like no added bad ingredients. And so I researched it to no end. And though it's an actual mineral, in it, so it wasn't like some toxic thing that was in the product. We got to the bottom of why she was breaking out into a rash. And it was the bismuth. And bismuth, everybody, is a very heavy metal. And the purpose it served in the mineral makeup, it actually served two purposes, was to one, weigh the product down. So you actually thought you were buying more true makeup than what you were, because it's a metal, so it was weighing it down. The other thing that bismuth does amazingly well is it allows it to brush onto your face super easily. It gives it this super easy brush on thing, but at the same time, for like my girlfriend Tiffany, it was actually microscopically scratching her skin. The metal in it was actually causing abrasions onto her skin. And that was the first step I made in, oh, hey, we don't need bismuth. It actually serves no purpose, no real purpose in the makeup at all. And I then went to a dermatologist in La Jolla, California, and was talking to him about, hey, I'm starting this makeup line, but this is the issue I'm having by taking bismuth out of it. I can't get the makeup to go on as smoothly as I could with the Bare Essentials. And he's like, oh, well, that's no problem. That's a slam dunk. He's like, all you need to put on your face before you put mineral makeup on is vitamin C. And it will actually do the same exact thing that bismuth does, but only better. And yes, there you go. And so
yes.
that is that. And that was about the time that we were playing around with our waterless vitamin C. That was an acquisition that Steve did. And I, started using it. And sure enough, it allowed the mineral makeup to go on completely flawless. And so instead of having the mineral, the metal in our product, we were able to remove that and then started teaching women and encouraging women, if you have the right base to start with, the makeup will go on flawlessly. And that is
Well,
the vitamin C.
yeah. So this was a game changer, Michelle,
It was.
because I remember fighting for years wanting to wear mineral makeup, but it always looked cakey.
Yes, right. It can look cakey. And when we were first starting, my mother included, my mother's like, I love you, Michelle, but there's no way I'm wearing that makeup. So I had generational things I had to get through, hurdles I had to get over. Just in regards to how older women were marketed to and the amazingness of commercials and magazines and the mindset it put into women. If I had a liquid product, of course, I'm going to market to you with, you want to wear liquid over powders, it's not going to show your lines. It's going to go into your lines better. And then, to counterattack powder, that those same makeup companies would then market and say, powder shows everything, powder ages you. And then you had the people who wanted to wear both, right? They want to put liquid on, then they want to put powder on top, and then you've got a cakey look. So these were all, and I still deal with the marketing, I call them marketing hurdles of women who have been like, but I believe it. I believe what Revlon's telling me. I believe what Maybelline is telling me. And I get that. That is the power of marketing, and they wouldn't be a successful makeup company without that. But I am here to tell you that all those old wives' tales that these makeup companies have put out there, that's what they are. I mean, I'm 52 years old and I wear powder every single day. My mom is 74. By the way, I did win my mother over. And I will tell you, I won her over to the extreme. She loved the powder so much that we noted she was ordering every 2 weeks. And I'm like, Mom, the jar is meant to last 3 to 4 months minimum, bare minimum. And my mom's like, but I love it so much. She was literally using it to cover up. I mean, I think she was taking it like all the way. Like she was just, it was all over. So
No lines. No
no
lines at all.
line. No, but it starts with a good base. And let me just add this. It doesn't matter what you put on your face, ladies, in regards to prepping your face, the sunscreen, the toners, the moisturizers. I mean, there are just some women that have like 12 layers. The last thing you put on your face is vitamin C before the mineral makeup. So it doesn't go underneath anything. The last layer before makeup is the vitamin C. And that is the most important thing to remember, because if you put your vitamin C on first and then you start putting lotions on over the vitamin C, nothing dries. You've now got balls of product coming off your face as you're trying to brush the makeup on. So, and I tell everybody my routine. I actually, before moving to Arizona, I did not wear moisturizer in the morning. Um, I lived on the ocean. I lived on the Pacific Ocean, and my face would never dry in time. It was always humid every single morning. So I would go straight to vitamin C. I'd sleep in moisturizer, but I would go straight to vitamin C without moisturizer. I have found that I cannot do that living in Arizona. It is a little too dry here. So I put my moisturizer on and then I go brush my teeth. And that just allows the moisturizer to really get into my skin before I put the vitamin C on and finish my makeup. I just like try to break up those two things, because if I put my vitamin C on directly on top of wet moisturizer, it will also it just becomes this whole blending issue for me.
Well, and vitamin C is so important. And this stuff, it comes out, it's a little bit, goes a long way. I even put it on the back sides of my hands. It's so silky smooth. Just really creates that nice palette,
It does, and
that
you be
canvas.
confused if you're a first time user, you're going to be confused. You're going to sit there and try to convince me that it does have water in it. It does not, or that it has oil in it, and it does not. It really, once you blend it, it really should almost feel like a dry powder going onto your skin. But so many women are like, I'm sure there's oil in here, just because it blends like a lotion a little bit. Like, how can it be without moisture and yet it blends like a moisturizer? It's just
But
technology.
yeah, and I have people out on YouTube asking, what vitamin C, or where do you recommend getting the vitamin C? And the vitamin C that we're referring to is from Youngevity. So this is the waterless vitamin C. It acts as what vitamin C does to the body and at the cellular level, and also as a primer serum. So putting it on last, primer, before you put on your makeup. So get with your Youngevity distributor, the person that referred you to this program. If there's nobody to thank, you can go to DailywithDoc.com and you will find the products there. And also, well, I don't want to just send people to, the generic website, because
No, that's all good. But vitamin C, so it's for all skin types. So please note that there isn't a skin tone or skin type that vitamin C is not good for. So please don't think it's not for me. It is actually for everyone. It absolutely does provide hydration. So for me living in San Diego, I was perfectly fine hydration wise, just using vitamin C. It brightens your skin. I mean, that's a huge bonus, especially with everyone on these Zooms today. You want your skin to be as bright as it can be. Vitamin C is great for that. It reduces redness. So for Rebecca and for myself with rosacea, like that's a major thing. There was a time when my cheeks were just like solid circles of red. So vitamin C helps with that. It can reduce the appearance of dark circles underneath your eyes. That is not an issue for me, but it is an issue for my sister. She's got darker circles under her eyes. It promotes collagen production. I mean, honestly, where, it's collagen, collagen, collagen. Vitamin C does that. It works with your skin and the collagen in your skin to help produce more collagen in your skin. And then, of course, it helps prevent sagging. So I do try to recommend. I mean, guys, 52, my neck's pretty good, but I started taking care of my neck at 30. It really does help with just the whole sagging of the skin underneath your chin. And ladies, there's never a day that you should not focus on your neck as much as you're focusing on your face. So with that, vitamin C has great benefits. And Rebecca, the other thing that I warn people about, because I was in this situation myself, my husband brought me the waterless vitamin C. And I believe the first words out of my mouth was, I'm not interested. And I already wear vitamin C from my dermatologist, and I wore SkinCeuticals. And I mean, it's not about bashing SkinCeuticals as much as it's about bashing their ingredients. My husband had that product shipped out to a third party in Colorado that we used to have it. I the words I use are reverse engineered, but he had it analyzed and tested. It was 98% water, and it was $200 at the time that I was spending. So when you're looking at a vitamin C product, if you go to any store that has a vitamin C product, please, I beg of you to turn that bottle around and look at the first ingredients. And if water is in anywhere in those top 3, 4, 5 ingredients, please put it back on the shelf, because that's actually all you are buying. And that is where I became super educated about the pros and cons of a really good vitamin C for your skin. SkinCeuticals, bless them, this was 17 years ago. I have not had it tested since then. It was the majority of it. I was buying a very expensive bottle of water with just a little bit of vitamin C in it.
I was just gonna say that's some expensive water.
It was very, and I mean, at the time, so 20 years ago, I was 30, right? At the time, you couldn't convince me otherwise. I'm like, my dermatologist says that this is, I just bought into the whole pitch. And Steve agreed that vitamin C was important and that your dermatologist should be recommending vitamin C. But I became like the biggest educator on quality of vitamin C. And that's why I am super proud of Youngevity, in the sense that we don't have any water, any oils. There's nothing in there filling up. It is pure goodness for your skin. And all the ingredients in it serve a purpose for your skin.
Now, you mentioned that it helps to support collagen production of the skin. And then we have the collagen serum, which is one of the first things that I put on my skin in the morning. So share with us a little bit about the collagen serum.
Well, the collagen serum is new. And so this is actually from my makeup team. My makeup team really wanted to come out with a collagen serum. And the whole point of coming out with this was that they really wanted it to work with the hyaluronic acid, and the vitamin C and the antioxidants that we are selling. So it really is about just what can we do to boost more collagen in our skin. And the team's research on all of that was that was going to be a good pairing together of hyaluronic acid with the vitamin C, and now with our collagen cream, in just creating a line of products that would do the best job they could of taking away the fine lines on your skin. So I was more about the internal collagen. So if you ask, and I have no problem I have great products. I'm very proud of my team. I love my team. If you came to me and said I could only afford to buy one collagen product, what would it be? I would say, take our internal collagen. I think you're going to get far more benefits from the internal collagen. You should have Annalise Brown join you someday on this call. She's amazing because she had really short pixie haircut. And I saw her like 6 months later, and it was like long. And of course, I touched her head to see if she had extensions, and she did not. And she said, I have one product to contribute this all to. And that was our collagen hair and skin nails. So ladies out there, I think our skincare line's amazing. And I think putting extra collagen can only help you with the fine lines. And if that's what you're super concerned about, please add additional collagen to your skin. But if you really want to glow on the outside it starts with collagen on the inside. And so every collagen product that we come out with, even in our skincare line, it's to enhance, support, and partner with the internal collagen we've already developed. Honestly,
And
I tell that to you truthfully.
yeah, and I can attest to the benefits of the collagen peptides that I mix into my drinks. I love the mineral sticks,
Yeah,
which has collagen and minerals and great cherry flavor that I'll mix into my plain Greek yogurt.
right. Yeah,
And
that
that's
just
my
totally makes it
flavor without all
sweeter.
that sugar. But I have to get my hair cut every 4 to 5 weeks, get it trimmed just to keep it, manageable with
No,
these curls
yeah,
I did not know that I had.
right. So, so the collagen for your skin, it does help the elasticity. It does reduce the lines and wrinkles, and it can just help plump your skin. But honestly, if you do it from the inside out, you're just going to have far more benefits, not just to your skin, but to your hair and to your nails as well. So you should have much nicer, strong nails. Um, and even if your hair doesn't grow like long, if it's not growing, it is getting stronger. And I think I'm very abusive to my hair. So heat products, you name it, I use it all. Hair dryers, curling irons, I've got it all. So keeping my hair as strong as it can possibly be without breakage. Again, I rely on the collagen to really help with that. I'd like to
Excellent.
add collagen to a conditioner someday. That would be nice.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be good?
well, yes. So I love our shampoos and conditioners
Yeah, I
Beyond
know.
Organics.
I do too.
I can really tell the difference when I am out of town and I use the hotels because I, didn't bring my own, and the hair just doesn't respond as well.
Now, do you use the Beyond Organics, or do you, with your curly hair like Melanie, do you like Soul Purposes line?
So I use the Beyond Organics for my shampoo and conditioner, but I use the Sole Purpose um, body butter.
Oh,
I love like peace and anahita and love and oh my goodness, there's so many of them. Happiness, all these, and the lemon one, and then there's the what is it? Do you say it? Guyana sugar, brown sugar. All of
yeah.
those, the
I'm going
fragrance
to
is
say it wrong.
just the fragrance is just wonderful, and a little bit, rub it on my hands and then through my wet hair, and it just helps keep the curls defined without it going frizzy. I just
Well, I'm
I
going to
don't
set
have to shop.
aside. I'm going to set aside some of the Soul Purpose for you because ladies with curly hair. I mean, I just have a million testimonials. Like the majority of women who have super curly hair, regardless of their skin tone, they buy the Soul Purpose line for their curly hair. So I'll set some aside for you just to see what you think of it.
Awesome.
So,
I remember going to a retreat and having some of it was the coconut one that's hair gloss.
right.
And I had it with me, and Michelle Malcolm, one of a great distributors who's also a radio personality. She's like, Becca, what do you use on your hair? And I showed it to her and I said, you want to try some? And she's like, yeah. And I said, here, you take it. I have a second canister in my suitcase. And she's like, this is amazing. She's African American and she had long, beautiful hair, but it was frizzy. And
Oh,
she took some of that and she's been able to make it just not be frizzy and do what she wants it to do. So it doesn't matter what color your skin is, the sole purpose. And I'm gonna have Nadine on sometime also
but you
and to
have to.
help with that
She's
because
amazing.
that's
I love her.
just beautiful inside out. I
Oh,
love it.
definitely.
That's what I love about Youngevity is we have so many people like yourself, like Nadine, that are beautiful from the inside out.
That's so nice of you. Thank you.
I love it. Well, let's continue on with color.
Okay.
We talked about the waterless vitamin C, the last thing that you put on before actually putting on color.
Now you've
And
decided your base, right? And so you put your base on.
so there's this, which
Oh, yours looks
I
like
already got my new one.
yours looks just like mine. I have the hole
Yeah.
going as well. Oh yeah, look
Well,
at
and
how bad that is.
yeah, and these are great because you've got the compact, you've got the mirror, you can lift up the color, and underneath you have your sponge.
Which I
So
always
it,
forget about. So thank you very much for reminding me. I always forget there's a sponge there. Let's see
yeah,
if I see something.
I love it because I can just take a little bit and rub it where I need to. It fits in my purse. Take that little shine off if there's any shine.
Look, my sponge looks brand new because that tells you how often I remember. I've got a sponge in there. You're
Well,
right.
and
Good
this is
job.
the brand new one. So
Oh,
I
I'm
absolutely
so
love
happy
it.
that you reminded us of this. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I
Oh,
can.
and like I said, I can use the pressed, I can use the loose powder, I can use the eyeshadows, and they don't make my eyes water.
No, no, they don't make your eyes water because there's no irritants in there of any kind whatsoever. We were talking a
Talc,
little bit about that. Yeah, there's no talc.
no
So
talc.
talc is bad. Talc became bad, right, in the last few years because you had the Johnson and Johnson lawsuit that went after. Uh, this is an absorbent amount of talc, ladies. There is not. I like to meet the person who got cancer from all the talc going into their lungs, but the lawsuit claims that because there's talc in Johnson and Johnson's powder products, that it could lead to possible lung cancer. And there's just the research behind that. That's crazy. But with that said, it really serves no beneficial powers whatsoever in your makeup. Um, People argue that it's in there to absorb oils off of your skin. So it's an oil absorber. And there's just many better other things that will do the same thing without it being talc. The other thing that's missing from our product, which I'm super thankful for, is cornstarch. Cornstarch is in 99% of your makeups out there. All of your powder makeups, look for the word cornstarch. Also, certainly since the talc issues came to be, more companies put cornstarch into their product. That is an oil absorber. The biggest problem I have with cornstarch is one, it doesn't serve your skin, like there's no purpose for it. But two, it automatically requires an expiration date because cornstarch grows bacteria. So the second you touch your skin with a brush, you are brushing, and you touch back into your powder. You just took the bacteria from your skin back into your makeup jar, and instantly, it is now growing bacteria in it. So I did not want anything inside of our products that could grow bacteria in any way. So I'm proud that I don't have expiration dates on my products, and I am proud that you're never going to open a jar and see mold or see anything in there other than the true raw makeup. I'm just a big believer that it has to benefit the skin. So every ingredient that we have chosen brings benefit to the skin. And I'm still a defender of the fact that there's titanium dioxide in my loose powder. My loose powder does have titanium dioxide. And you might, and I'm going to share this with all of you in regards to educating you and helping you, you might find somebody who's like, oh no, that's bad. That's become bad too. You don't want to get titanium dioxide into your lungs. And I tell people every time I run into this, and it's a lot rarer now, you're never going to suck this titanium dioxide up your nose. Like, it's going onto your face. That is where it's going to be. It's not going to wind up in your lungs. And there's so very little of it. But it is a sunscreen, and it does serve a purpose in our makeup in being a sunscreen, and removing that and replacing it with the alternatives out there on the market. I have not found anything that has won me over in removing titanium dioxide from our products in any way. So natural sunscreen, it serves as a great base to put the colors into. Initially, when I started this line 17 years ago, I was going to blend all my own makeup. I mean, you just saw the mission I was on. I'm going to be the blender. I'm going to make all my own recipes. I'm going to do all of this. And I flew to the East Coast to actually take a makeup blending class. Like, I needed to just understand how different colors work. And if you do not know, you have to order the colors in it, they're different minerals, right? And you have blue and purple and you have all kinds of minerals. You order the raw minerals, and you would never think in a million years that it could create a brown color, but they do. They do come crushed. They come crushed in a fine powder, and you blend them, or we blend them in Cuisinarts, like from Williams and Sonoma, your standard Cuisinart. And the reason we do this even 17 years later is that's the only way I can get true consistency. I want you to think about how one makes a chocolate cake. Rebecca can make a chocolate cake, and I could make a chocolate cake, and we could all give you a bite of that chocolate cake, and it is going to taste, our two cakes are going to taste totally different, even if we had the same basic ingredients to start with. And so I use that analogy to get people to understand that blending mineral makeup is the exact same way. So I'm taking the class, we're blending. I'm learning how to do all these different colors. And then I come to realize that to get to the shade beautiful, like it's exactly 4 hours and 16 minutes and 32 seconds to the T. And if you go even 3 seconds longer, your color beautiful is now no longer beautiful. It's so the more it blends, the more it changes color as you're blending. And I came out of there and said to my girlfriend, I'm like, I don't want to be in the blending business, because about every other batch I'm going to screw up by not having it to that degree. And so at that point, we went looking for blenders. So we created the formulas, and then we went looking for blenders that would consistently blend for us, and specifically in Cuisinart. So I only wanted 1 pound of a color made at a time. And to this day, 17 years later, we only make 1 pound of color at a time. And then we QC it to make sure that it does match. And trust me, probably I can think of 3 times specifically we've had colors arrive and they didn't match, and they'll argue on the phone, no, we did it perfectly, and we'll send back a retained sample with the batch and they'll reblend for us. It's rare. 3 times in 17 years isn't bad, but it is so time consuming to make that color happen. And so really they all have the same ingredients. That's I guess the point of my story is they all have the same ingredients. They're all using this range of minerals that we've got, but it is about how much time it stays in the Cuisinart, that it becomes the color that it becomes. It's a time issue.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize
Right?
that it had to do with the time.
It's a time
That's
issue on blending. The more you blend, the more the color changes. Yeah.
well, and I'm thinking you do a pound at a time. I
I do a
buy
pound
mine.
at a time,
This
yes.
is 8 grams.
Right.
Okay. It's a good size container. I've got my brushes here. Um, but it's a good size container. It has the sifter on the top so
That
that
was a
you
good
can,
purchase. We didn't have
oh,
sifters to begin with.
that's amazing, because you
Yeah.
can, swirl your brush around in here and then tap it off. And then I also tap it off inside my
And you
lid.
can close it. So mine's closed. So you can
Yes.
close it for travel. These are all issues that came to be long after we created the mineral makeup. We travel, powder would be all over my makeup bag because it leaked out or whatever. So these were all upgrades with like, oh no, I need to be able to close the sifter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. But this lasts. I mean, I put makeup on daily.
Ladies, if
Daily.
you're buying this more than every 90 days, you might get a call from me. And just like I had to call my mother, like this has really got to be lasting you 90 days. And if it is not, please, my cell phone number is on my Facebook page. Text me. Like, we'll have a talk as to what's going on. Where are you putting this that you cannot get 90 days? And for most women, and Steve will attest to this should be a good 6-month supply.
Yeah.
A 6-month supply. When we started the company, when we started the line, the mineral makeup line, bless Steve and Dad, they were not interested. They weren't interested because the number one issue we have in our industry is we like 30-day consumables. I mean, that's just what we like. And Dad and Steve were both, like, there's no way we're going to let you create this line if you're telling me that women are going to only buy their base makeup once, maybe if we're lucky, twice a year. And that was the pitch. Ladies, keep in mind, 17 years ago, I wasn't going to create anything other than base makeup. Base makeup was it. I was never going to branch out into anything else. my girlfriend's only problem. I was only solving my girlfriend's problem. I wasn't trying to do anything. In fact, I didn't even start the company. I got all the ingredients. I blended Tiffany, her colors, because Tiffany, by the way, is as light as you are, Becca. I blended Tiffany, the lightest shade ever. If you look at Becca, that's how light I had to go. And I sent it to her. And I thought nothing of it. I'm having a baby. Life's going to go on. It's all good. And it took me about 2 months to do that for her. And Tiffany calls like probably 10 days after she got the product. And she said, hey, my girlfriend has the same issue. Could you blend for her just a little bit more, but could you make it just one shade darker? Keep in mind, I didn't have a picture. There was no Facebook. There was nothing. It was just, could you make it one shade darker? And I would say in those 30 days, I probably blended 4 or 5 shades for Tiffany and her friends, always on the one shade lighter, 2 shades darker. And I would just, you know, down that we didn't even have a mineral makeup department yet. We had a clean room. We had a clean room made. And in that clean room, yeah, I would sit there with Cuisinart and blend it for them and set the timer, and then off I'd, you know, go and come back. And so it was only after those few orders that I was like, hey, maybe we're onto something. Like, I didn't know anybody would have an issue with bare essentials. And in a short time frame, I suddenly was like meeting more and more people who had problems to bare essentials. So I just, you know, it wasn't in my world. I didn't have any friends in California that were having those problems. So the more people I met, it came to be. So 8 colors, that's all I was going to do. And I have Andrew. I have Andrew in August. I launched the mineral makeup in September. It was my 3rd boy, and I felt like I was a copy machine. I just kept giving birth to the same child over and over. They did not look any different from each other. They all looked the same. So when Andrew was about 3 months old, I said to Steve, listen, I really think I can do something with this mineral makeup line. I think this is going to be a lot bigger than what I was initially imagining. You need to take care of Andrew, who's 3 months old, and I'm going to go on the road. And I'm going to get this company to $100,000 in sales. Initially, it was 50,000. I'm going to get this company to $50,000 a month in sales in just mineral makeup. And, you know, and then from there, I will take it to 6 figures. I did that. I would go on the road. I'm sure there might be a few of you out there wondering, Andrew was still getting breast milk. So I will just add that little part into the story. Federal Express had a program back then, 17 years ago. I would pump and Federal Express Steve frozen breast milk. So Andrew was still getting his milk, and I would come home like every 10 days or so to do laundry, kiss the baby, love the baby, and then go right back out onto the road. But it only took me 4 months, I think, before we were at the 50 mark. And we were well at the 100,000 mark before the end of the year was out. And my thought process at the time was that Andrew will not remember that I wasn't there in those months. And he has the best relationship with Steve. And I had already had 2 others that looked just like him. So you can judge me. I've been judged by others. It's all good. But my passion of launching that mineral makeup was super important. I've launched 8 colors. I think I've matched every skin tone on the planet. We get to Chicago, and we go to an African American women's event in Chicago. And it is just my girlfriend and I, and we are as white as can be in an all African American show. And that was my first inkling that I did not have enough colors. So that is when Nadine came into my life. Nadine was already in my life, but that's when she came into my mineral makeup life. And she flew out to California, and she really, really helped me deeply understand the challenges that women of color go through, the limitations that they have in the makeup lines that are available for them, and what we would need to really do to bring mineral makeup for them. So we blend up a bunch more colors. Now we have this dark line. Again, I'm all done. And Becca, this is where it gets funny. So we shoot up to a show in Seattle, Washington. And I'm like, no problem, right? It's a show of Caucasian women, and they sit down, and we don't have a single color for them. I had never seen such grayness in skin, and I'm from Portland, Oregon, everyone. I have never seen such grayness undertones in skin. Like, they if you put yellow on top of somebody who was born and raised in Seattle, Washington, it's the worst combination. You can't have a gray undertone and then put a yellow base on top of them. And I will tell you that primarily our line at that time was yellow based. And I will give you another line that's yellow based. It's MAC. MAC only makes yellow based makeup. So if you think about the undertone of it, it does not go on all skin tones, and it certainly does not go on people who have light gray skin in Seattle. So we were in a panic because we had an entire mineral makeup booth and we had pink eyeshadows. And we started taking the lightest color that we had in our line at that time and literally pouring our pink eyeshadows into it and doing the blends. And it was the pink that took away from the sullen grayness of the ladies that were at that Seattle show. And that made me research further and get all interested. And I found out that Merle Norman, which I think Becca and I talked about before, Merle Norman's entire line is pink based. So I had MAC that was 100% yellow based. I had Merle Norman that was 100% pink based. And what I found fascinating is that neither company, neither line of makeup had done a crossover. And so I really wanted to be a makeup company that could do the pink line, do the yellow line, and then for women of color, have the blue undertones, the red undertones, the orange undertones. With a woman of color, there's just so many different options that their undertone could be. And back then, when I finally had the complete line, and this was at the end of 2 years, I had the most complete line at that time on the market to cover all skin tones from one side of the country to the other. And so that was something that we wrote on and that we were super, super, super proud of. And it was shortly after that that people started asking for eyeshadows.
Love the eyeshadows. I mean, I counted them. I think I have 32
Is that
eyeshadows.
how many I'm down to? I would like to be down to 8.
You have down to 8? Well, I
I
had
think
to
it's
get all of
crazy.
them to find my favorites, and rodeo or rodeo, however you want to
Dale,
say it, is probably my favorite when it comes to this part of the eye. I don't have it on today,
you don't have it on
but
today.
not today.
I'm sure
Today
everyone's like
champagne.
freaking out that I'm like, I want to be down to 8, but I will tell you all that the first 8 colors, and we don't have all 8 anymore, but we certainly have the first 4 fine wines of France. I wanted to create colors that would go on all skin tones that made you look professional and made you look pretty. And when I was doing trade shows, when I was doing makeup shows and people wanted to sit down, there was that constant, I want a smoky eye. There was the constant, I want a glitter eye. Glitter, oh, for the longest time, that was a major thing. I want a party eye, whatever. Nobody ever sat down, which blew me away, and said, could you just make me look professional without overdoing my makeup? And I got wrapped up in this whole, like, we got to make all these colors. We have to have all these options. We have to be able to do a smoky eye. And that is just not the reality of everyone's day-to-day makeup wearing, right?
I don't have the cape for a smoky eye.
Yeah, yeah. Aside from whether or not you've got the right eyelid for it and all of that, especially women who have like really squinty eyes, it closes your eye when you do a smoky eye. It's going to close your eye. And I came from the marketing background of you got to open the eye. So I've taken all these classes on how to open an eye, and then I've got women sitting down in our chairs going, but what do you have to create the darkest eye ever? And I philosophically disagreed with their requests because I'm like, you can't wear this to work. You can't, where are you going to wear this to? Oh, my date Friday night. Oh, well, that's lovely. But, like, I want you to look beautiful. I want you to look natural. And I don't want people going, oh God, what are you wearing? Why do you have that on your face? So I think our eyeshadow line got way out of control. I had a young team. I did have a young team, and that led to it all. They were in their 20s. They're all makeup artists, and they loved blending colors. So I literally could step out of the mineral makeup department, go back to being COO, and they would sit there and blend colors all day long downstairs and race upstairs to look what we blended, look what we blended. So that is why the line is as big as it is. I worked very hard with the team to scale it down to not even what's the most popular color selling, but what do we really think works and accentuates the eye and brings beauty to your face. And I don't mind saying that I think that should be what's most important, and the thing that I should be most proud of is what brings beauty to your face. There will be colors in there in the line that you will probably question, why did I keep it? And if you are Caucasian, it is because that color is specifically for a woman of color. Women of color can just get away with wearing brighter colors on their skin. They
Oh
really
yeah.
can. That's what they need. And so I am sure people look at the line and go, why would you ever have that color? And if you are Caucasian and you are light skinned and you think that, it's because the color was not made for you. Like I'm always blessed to do somebody who has darker skin because their skin tone can always make the colors pop, and it accentuates them and it makes them look gorgeous. It really, really does. But you take that same color and you put it on my face and I look like a clown. There's just, and
Yes.
yes, right. And the other thing that's very deceiving, and I'm super sorry about this, so we do have a 100% return policy on any eyeshadows that you buy, is just because it looks a certain way in the jar or on the screen that you're looking at, the iron oxides react completely different with everyone's skin. And so what looks beautiful on Becca, and I use Becca because we have light skin, what could be totally beautiful on Becca could make me look like I have a red, dark, bloody eye just because my skin is reacting differently to the iron oxides than Becca's skin. It really is a skin to skin to skin issue.
Mhm.
And so if you ever buy an eyeshadow and you're like, oh my God, this looked hideous on me, but it doesn't look like that in the jar, I don't understand. There are so many iron oxides mixed in to create that color. We just never know what your skin tone is going to be attracted to in regards to that blend, and what it's going to repel and not show up. So
Yeah.
so that's a good educational thing there for all of you. It's not you, it's not the color. And that's why three ladies all putting the same color on, it will look different between all three ladies.
Well, and I want to do a quick little shout out because you're talking about, African American women and the beauty of their skin. And I just want to say hi to former Mrs. America from Washington, D.C., Dr. Sheena Dixon Mason, who is on with us. So, hello, Dr. Sheena. So glad you're able to make it on with us today. Um, and many other. I mean, she's another one of those beautiful people from the inside out that I've met because of Youngevity.
And she's
Now,
probably somebody really fascinating to talk to about makeup, but I bet she has her own journey from teenagehood to now of what she's gone through, especially if she was in the beauty pageant industry, of just what she's dealt with in regards to the availability of makeup that's specific for her skin.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now back to color. I know a lot of women like to wear a dark eyeliner, and we only have a couple more minutes, but I love to add just a little bit of pop and color because my eyes are kind of on the squinty side. So I like to open it up with a little pop of color and
Oh, look at you with the
colors.
blues. Look at that.
And I'm not going to tip this one much, but doing that and then using the eyeliner brush,
Right?
I'm not pulling the skin, I'm just dabbing it. And it just adds that nice little soft pop of color. I love
Do you
it.
ever wet your brush?
I have.
Yeah,
And it
because
makes
that's
it
a real,
darker
yeah,
and
well, it's just
yeah.
gonna really, if you're gonna go out for the night, if you're gonna go out for the evening and you want to retouch up your eyeliner, I definitely always suggest that you wet it because it's just gonna give you a even a better pop at night when you're going out. But yeah, during the day as well. I always
Yes.
wet my brush. So
And then, people will say, that the powder sinks into the wrinkles and such. I love this stipple brush. Just tap it, smooth it out, and I'm good to go. I don't
you
even
look,
have to apply more.
you're so beautiful. I love it. No, that's gorgeous.
So, Wow. Well, our time is up already. I know that you've got a
Hate
super
this.
busy
I always feel
schedule.
like we could talk for like 3 hours.
We could, and that's why we're going to continue this series, folks. You know, the fact that we have a COO who has hands-on experience, and I love that, Michelle. You started out just trying to help a friend
Right.
and
That's how
blending.
99% of our products come to be. Somebody needs something from us. We make it for that one person. And then suddenly our phone's ringing.
Yeah, that goes just like Rebound and Theo Ratliff.
Exactly.
I love it. CM Cream, Drew Pearson. You know, I absolutely love it. Is meeting people where they're at with their desires, with their needs, with their wants when it comes to uh, providing something that is less toxic to the body, inside and out. So, folks, get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there is nobody to thank and you would like to speak with a certified holistic health coach, you can go to dailywithdoc.com, use that contact option, or I do have a team on the phone at 855 949 3377. And again, this website and this phone number are for people who are not working with anybody already and have not placed an order with Youngevity. So we've got some amazing distributors, Michelle. We want to make
Yes,
sure that people stay together.
definitely. It's a great
That's
family.
my
So
goal.
proud of everyone.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. We will see you again another time. And thank goodness for time zone changes. We'll just make
Right?
sure it's Pacific time, folks. We're here to most Monday through Fridays. Sometimes we take Tuesdays off because of schedules, but noon to 1 Pacific time. Join us here on Daily with Doc. Michelle, have a blessed rest of your week.
You take care. I'll be in San Diego next. So see you next week.
Next. Awesome. I love it. Look forward to it. Well,
Thanks, Rebecca.
thank you. And if I could get my co-hosts on the screen with me, I want to do a thank you to them as well, because I couldn't do this program without them. Ruth Ellen Sanchez, she and I get on an hour before the show and make sure everything is getting set up. And she is training Sherry, and she's also trained, where is he? There he is. AJ in, having everything in place, ready to go, so that we can start the show and have sound, have picture, have the streams going everywhere. I couldn't do it without my tech crew team. And then we have our Zoom team that includes Phyllis and Marilyn and Albert, as they are putting information into the chats. They're letting people into the Zoom room. They are watching the chats, making sure that there's questions that I'm able to get to see those questions as well, so that we can get the answers for you that you are looking for. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us here again. If you would like to join us live sometime, you can do so by going to dailywithdoczoom.com Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 12, or I don't have to say 12:50 right now, but 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. We look forward to having you join us. If you are watching us on any of the different platforms, follow us. You're looking for critical health, the critical health news, Daily with Doc. Just do a search. You will find us. Make sure that you are subscribed to our channels and send us a little comment, a little note. Let us know that you are there, because we love to know where people are joining us from. And also put, the country. We are an international country, company, community. Thank you. Yes. We reach around the world, folks. And that's one thing that I love about this business. And the fact that, we all can use nutrition. We all can be cognitive of what we put in our bodies, outside of our bodies, and have in our environments. As we are also going to be bringing on Jeanette Anderson, who was very instrumental in our nature direct line. where we're providing more non-toxic, less toxic things that we can use to clean our environment. So something to look forward to. Until next time, thank you everybody for joining us here on Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and Ruth Ellen is trying to get my attention. Yes, ma'am.
Who are we having on the show tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
Yes.
we are having Chef Norman, the author of the book Cooking, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. So folks, you don't want to miss that. He is an interesting character that is just so knowledgeable. And I love the fact that we are reaching generations, all different generations. So if you're young at heart, you are absolutely going to love Chef Norman. So join us tomorrow. And if you're catching the replay, you can catch the replay for tomorrow's show also after 1 o'clock tomorrow. Bye for now.